Okay, in this next part of this topic, we're going to be looking at natural selection in action. Now, natural selection takes many, many years. So, for Charles Darwin to come up with his theory based on what he had found, he sort of had to make some predictions and some guesses about what would have happened. It's not possible to see natural selection happening over the course of your lifetime in animals or in plants. However, it is possible to see natural selection occur in living organisms which tend to grow and go through a lot of different generations a lot faster. And bacteria are an example of such an organism. So bacteria can grow really, really quick and go through a number of generations really, really quickly. Okay, so if we start with one bacteria, it multiplies quickly into many different bacteria. As a result, there can be natural selection occurring within our own lifetime. Okay, so if we're studying it, we can actually see that. So generally, when a bacteria are treated with an antibiotic, an example of one would be penicillin, most of those bacteria are destroyed. So in general, if there's no antibiotic treatment, the normal bacteria, this green one here, is more common and it becomes more and more common. However, if they are treated with an antibiotic, the green normal bacteria end up dying, they cannot reproduce, and they are killed by that antibiotic. Therefore, they cannot survive. They cannot pass on their genes, and only the bacteria with a particular mutation that gives them resistance can pass that gene on. So in this case, it's this gene here which gives the yellow bacteria a competitive advantage. Now, these two bacteria are the same species. You would think they're the same, but the only difference that they need is this mutation here. The mutation which means they do not die when they're being treated with the antibiotic. As a result, the mutated bacteria survive. These green non-mutated bacteria become extinct, and we're only left with the yellow bacteria. So if a second type of bacteria was used, the same process could happen over and over again. The same with a third antibiotic, fourth antibiotic, and as a result, only the bacteria that have mutations to stop all the different antibiotics from killing them will survive. Now, that sounds kind of scary. A bacteria which is immune to antibiotics, so it will not die if it's treated with antibiotic. And these actually do exist, and it's something we might have heard of before, called superbugs. So superbugs, which are likely to be found in hospitals more than anywhere else, for a certain reason. So this question is in your books. Why do superbugs occur in hospitals? Okay, so we have to think about a few things to try and get this answer. So there's sort of a clue here. First of all, is that there's many people, and in cases where there's many people close to each other, what are they likely to do? So if I had a cold and I go into a packed room full of people, what's going to happen to that cold? Okay, so first of all, people are close. Okay, so the second point, okay, and that's sort of given to us in the question. What are these people being treated with in the hospital? Okay, and we've already mentioned, how do we actually stop bacteria from spreading? We use antibiotics. And then thirdly, what can happen, okay, whenever we use antibiotics? What can emerge as a result? So which bacteria and that is when they're treated with antibiotics. And as a result, if many antibiotics are being used, all these people are close to each other, what type of bacteria is going to be able to survive in those conditions and actually thrive in those conditions? So that's just a quick lesson on natural selection happening in sort of a hospital with bacteria. That's something we can see in our lifetimes, unlike natural selection occurring in animals. Okay, again, any questions? Post them, we'll try and get back to you.